Hello there. So let me finally provide some piece of valuable video. I will go through this introduction to fair use on YouTube in order to test my knowledge and understanding and provide you a narrated video about it if you are too lazy to read it yourself. Let's dig in. Fair use on a YouTube. Fair use is a legal doctrine that says use of copyright protected material under certain circumstances is allowed without permission from the copyright holder. YouTube gets many requests to remove videos that copyright holders claim are infringing under copyright law. Sometimes these requests apply to videos that qualify for copyright exceptions or seem like clear examples of fair use. Courts have decided that copyright holders must consider whether copyright exceptions apply before they submit a copyright removal request. So that's a responsibility for the copyright holders, so they cannot strike blindly here and there. If the use of copyright protected material in the video qualifies as a copyright exception, then the video is considered lawful and non-infringing. This is why we often ask copyright holders to think about whether copyright exceptions apply before submitting a copyright removal request to YouTube. If a copyright holder believes a video doesn't qualify for exception, then they must provide us, the YouTube service, with an adequate explanation as to why. If a copyright holder doesn't provide us with an adequate explanation as to why a video doesn't qualify for a copyright exception, then the video is not removed from YouTube. So if it is under fair use, the video will survive. Copyright exceptions around the world. While international rules about copyright exceptions are often similar, they can differ. Different countries and regions may have different rules about when it's okay to use copyright protected material without the copyright holder's permission. Keep in mind that we take local rules into consideration when responding to copyright removal requests. You can view the YouTube Copyright Transparency Report for more info on how we respond to copyright removal requests, including how often we request additional explanations from copyright holders who claim a video doesn't qualify for a copyright exception. In the United States, works of commentary, criticism, research, teaching, or news reporting may be considered fair use. In EU, more limited exceptions are recognized, and the use must fit into specific categories such as quotation, criticism, review, caricature, parody, or pastiche. I googled up the pastiche term, and it's supposed to be replica of a piece of art. Well, maybe that's what I'm doing with remakes? Who knows? Other countries, regions, have a concept called fair dealing that may work differently. Ultimately, court decides fair use cases according to the facts of each unique case. You'll probably want to get legal advice from an expert before, uploading videos that use copyright protected material? Well, I didn't get any advice at all from anyone. I was just figuring the shit out. I tried to upload a music video, and if that didn't get blocked or punished me, continued. I have a general understanding what could be right and wrong, and the movie clips seemed quite wrong in the past, so I decided to remove them in order to avoid, so to say, shadow ban. I don't have a clue if it worked at the point this recording is made. Ultimately, courts decide blah 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 blah. Okay, I read that, sorry. 4 factors of fair use. In the United States, judges decide what's considered fair use. A judge will consider how the 4 factors of fair use apply to each specific case. The 4 factors of fair use are the following. 1. The purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is commercial nature or is for non-profit educational purposes. Okay. Courts typically focus on whether the use of copyright-protected material is transformative. This means whether the use adds new expression or meaning to the original material, or whether it merely copies from the original. For example, if I was to try make money out of a review of murder drones and using the footage of murder drones in the background, it should be possible. But if I try to make money out of something I would call lazy AMV visualizer, which means that I will take the scene from the murder drones, remove the sound, apply only the music that is in the background in the original footage, and play that as, so to say, transformative content, that shouldn't fly and should be punished if I was trying to make money out of it, which will not happen at all. But I will try to publish those videos in the future. The nature of the copyrighted work. Wait. Commercial uses are less likely to be considered fair use, but it's still possible to monetize a video that contains fair use material. Yeah, like that review I mentioned right before. Second, the nature of copyrighted work. Using material from primary factual work is more likely to be fair use than using purely fictional works. That makes sense. It's more educational in the first case. Third point. The amount and substantiality of the portion used relative to the whole copyrighted work. Borrowing small bits of material from the original work is more likely to be considered fair use than borrowing large portions. But if what's borrowed is considered the heart of the work, sometimes even small sampling may weigh against fair use. That's interesting. For example, some clips of Nope had copyright on them, whereas others didn't. And those who did were mostly the clips that spoiled the plot. So that could be the heart of the story. Anyway, I got rid of them now. 4 point. The effect of use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. Uses that harm the copyright holder's ability to profit from original work are less likely to be fair uses. courts have sometimes made an exception under this factor in cases involving parodies. Okay. YouTube's Fair Use Protection Initiative. In rare cases, we have asked YouTube creators to join an initiative that protects some samples of fair use on YouTube from copyright removal requests. Through this initiative, YouTube indemnifies creators whose fair use videos have been subjected to removal requests for up to 1 million of legal costs in the event of removal result in a copyright infringement lawsuit. Okay, what this means? I don't understand this sentence at all, and my surroundings is kind of getting noisy. The mic is actually filtering it out, but it's really getting to my nerves. Anyway, I remember that this part was only about United States, and I am from Europe, so I'm sorry. More info can be found in other parts that are stated here, right? US Copyright Office, that is the place where someone may make their copyright over some sort of piece of work official, so that they can demand its upholding more easily. Digital media law projects detail. I don't understand this one and this one. Okay, so this is fair use on YouTube. Honestly, it sounds kind of terrifying, but the take-home message here is that as long as you don't try to make money out of videos, you should be mostly fine even though you use copyrighted material. For example, in my experience, I used mostly music that YouTube recognizes as the copyrighted material. And usually it may result in multiple things. Once the copyright is on point, it usually takes away a possibility to make money out of the video. So monetization goes gray. Then it might get restricted in certain countries, resulting in a partial block, or if I used a music that is copyrighted in a short that is longer than 1 minute, it gets restricted worldwide because that's the current policy. Also, shorts under the 1 minute can be monetized even though they are using copyrighted songs and footage. Interesting, right? I believe that's only for the songs. If you are dancing to a song, you are actually providing some sort of value so that you could be compensated in money. And the long form content has much stricter policies. The moment there is something copyrighted in there, you will get demonetized. But I actually didn't get anything that would result in a copyright strike. My theory is that you will receive a copyright strike if you try to monetize a video containing copyrighted material, and you will get strike through a copyright holder filing removal request or something against you. But removal request should result actually in the removal of the video and you receiving a strike. That's my theory. If I spit some sort of nonsense, I'm very sorry. I'm very tired. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.